close-up look at all your Concho Valley High School football. This is Inside the Game. Sponsored by Mitchell Automotive Group.
Good evening and welcome into Inside the Game, where we take you inside the game here in the Concho Valley. I'm your host, Brian Cunningham. The next 15 minutes, a full recap from Week 7 of the 2024 high school football season with scores and highlights from all across the Concho Valley as district has kicked off for most of the teams this week and for our teams. And we're going to start with our very own Angry Orange taking on the defending district winner from last year. Lakeview enters Week 7 just before their Week 8 bye week ahead of district play, looking to turn things around when it matters most. They take on the Brownfield Lions. This matchup hasn't happened since '62, and we take the first play from scrimmage for a touchdown, and it's going to set up the onside kick, and it's going to be the easy touchdown here again. 7-0 midway through the first quarter. Lakeview back in the red zone, a Wildcat formation here. It's going to be a walk into the end zone, 13-0. We're going to go later in the game. Alviso finds Braylon White in the back of the end zone, 19-0. Defensive side of the ball now. Brownfield going through the goal line, 4th and goal at the line. Jeremy Williams tries to muscle his way in. A little over 5 minutes to go at halftime. Alviso continuing to shine, finding Christopher Rodella for the beautiful throw. 25-6 Lakeview, and that set the tone for the remainder of this one. Lakeview running away with it tonight. Final score 43-6, and now we're going to send you out to Griff, still at San Angelo Stadium for Central.
Good evening, Concho Valley. I'm Griff McClellan, live inside San Angelo Stadium. The Lakeview Chiefs tonight got a huge 43-6 win over Brownfield. How did things start? Lakeview started with an onside kick, surprising everyone in attendance for homecoming this weekend. And Lakeview, we discussed with head coach Hector Guevara earlier this week, the team needed to improve its miscommunication that cost them their previous 3 weeks as they look to end their 3-game losing streak tonight. And also, Lakeview had established a habit of digging themselves into big holes pretty early. Well, they did the exact opposite tonight, setting the tone early with a touchdown on the first play. Chris Alviso was dominant all night, and Lakeview used a variety of ways to score, through Wildcat formations, through passing touchdowns in the air and on the ground. Simply put, it was all Lakeview tonight. That's all from San Angelo Stadium. Back to you guys.
This live shot is sponsored by AFCO Steel.
And we're going to take you in directly to our next game. 3-2 on a 3-game win streak. The Rebels 1-4 as they enter this game. JP Rays to wide receiver Aiden Serrano to get over the line, 6-0. Another one punches it in for the 2-point conversion, 8-0 here. Legacy Rays to Serrano. Big touchdown gets in, untouched, 15-0 for the Rebels. Legacy Rays throws an interception to KSAN Rogers here on this play. And San Angelo quarterback Christian English is going to send the pass off to the tight end Kasner Stribling, resulting in a touchdown. The Rebels lead 15-6 after a failed 2-point try. And San Angelo Central has got the dancers out. Legacy Rays to wide receiver Caden Ellis. The final play of this highlight, 21-6 here, and we finish off Central, unfortunately losing 29-42. The 7th-ranked Wall Hawks travel to face the winless Merkel Badgers to kick off their district play. Wall holds the overall record of this series at 7-1 through 8 games, and entering this matchup 5-1 on the season in the middle of a 4-game win streak. Wall headed into halftime up 28-7 with the final score 48-7. Wall opening districts with a win. TLCA has not had the most ideal start to their season. They entered district play 0-5 on the year and traveled to Sweetwater to face the 2-3 Mustangs fresh off of a bye week. And this is a first-time matchup in history for these two teams. Unfortunately, the game would Eagles enter it as a 58-point underdog, and were handed a tough loss tonight by Sweetwater, down 64-0 at half and 90-0 final score. That is not basketball you're looking at. The Grape Creek Eagles entered district play tonight after scoring a season-high 74 points last week, and 2-4 on the season as they host the Coahoma Bulldogs. The Bulldogs enter 4-1 on the season. The Eagles sitting at 2-4 on the year. Second quarter action with Coahoma leading 6-0. Grape Creek. Sire Garcia is going to tie it up 6-6 on a 16-yard touchdown run, but the conversion would be failed. Still in the second, Jaden Vineyard punches it in for the short touchdown scamper. Bulldogs regain the lead 12-6. PAT no good, and the Eagles pull even on a pretty touchdown connection here to Daniel Achondo Garcia 12-12 late in the second, and Sire Garcia is going to add the 2-point conversion to give Grape Creek a 14-2 advantage with 6 seconds left before intermission. With running out of time in the first half, Coahuma's Noah White is bottled up on a kick return. Eagles lead 14-12 at the break. Final score 34-20. The Brady Bulldogs traveled to Dublin tonight to face the Lions for a matchup now going into year 7. Brady holds this over all-time series record at 6-5, and they enter tonight's matchup 4-1 on the season, facing the winless Bulldogs. And we see a final score here: Bulldogs 34, Lions 31. Coming up next on Inside the Game, we're going to continue our coverage of high school football across the Concho Valley. Class 2A is up next when we return. Don't go anywhere. This is Inside the Game. Welcome back to Inside the Game, where we take you inside the game here in the Concho Valley. Class 2A is up next, and our next matchup saw the Colorado City Wolves, who face the Cristobal Cougars. The Wolves enter this game 2-3 on the season. The Cougars 1-4, looking to regroup. Shotgun handoff to Manuel Rojas, and he's going to fight his way through an arm tackle and cross the line with vengeance here for the early 6-0 lead for the Cougars. Manuel again with the handoff a few drives later takes this one to the outside left, and he's going to pick up the first down to extend the drive here in this matchup for Cristobal. Same drive a little later. Shotgun snap to Stanton McLaughlin, keeps it himself and takes this one outside on the scramble drill for the first down. Leading into this play right here, a quick snap and a quick strike from Stanton, and that's going to be an easy score over the middle. Cristobal up 2 scores at this point, and the final score going in 42-14 Cristobal. The Ozona Lions traveled to Reagan County to take on the Owls last night. These two teams have faced for 11 straight years, and entering this matchup, it's the 89th all-time matchup for these two teams. And both of these teams enter this game 4-1 on the season, and both fresh off their bye week as they enter district play, and the Owls are going to be taking down Ozona for week 1 of district play. Final score 42-28. The Sonora Broncos who are 2-3 on the year, played host to the Forsan Buffaloes tonight. The Buffaloes entered this game looking for win number 1, while the Broncos are definitely looking to prevent that from happening not only at home, but against a district rival week 1 of districts, and they would do so in a commanding fashion, 52-0 Sonora. The Mason Punchers moved into the top 10 again this week, despite it being their bye week last week. They played host to the Thorndale as the Bulldogs are entering this matchup 1-4 on the season. These two teams have only met for one other time, and that was back in 2012, with the Punchers winning, and the Mason Punchers would continue their streak at 64 straight conference games now. Final score 58-14. The Miles Bulldogs entered their bye week in week 6, looking to rejuvenate and get back on track after dropping 4-1 after their 4-game win streak earlier in the season. Tonight they travel to Albany for a tough matchup, and the Lions, who have won all 8 matchups of these series. We go out to Albany. The Lions are hosting Miles, and getting back on track in this one, we have an inside handoff, and he's going to be met up the middle. Albany defenders trying to hold on, and they would take the possession away, trying to get the drive going. This is some nice second effort here. The runner's going to have a fumble on this play, and it's going to be scooped up in the red zone, recovered at the 18-yard line, driving, taking it in outside with a very nice play on here. They inch this one closer to the end zone to try to get things closer in this game as they find themselves down 27-8, and they would turn it into a touchdown as the quarterback rolls in, and we would go into half 27-15. Final score 47-15 Albany. El Dorado entered district play 2-3 on the season, and they traveled to face the Irene Braves, a tough matchup for any opponent. Undefeated currently at 5-0 and fresh off a bye week, the Braves hold the overall series record at 26-30-3 in a series that first started in 1937, and it would be all Braves today, 70-13. In a battle of the birds, the Sterling City Eagles kicked off their district play, traveling to Van Horn to face another Eagle. Both teams entered this matchup 2-3 on the season and have only faced each other one other time, and that would be in 2021. Final score, Sterling City 33, Eagles 7. And what feels like a lot of Eagles games going on already tonight, we have just one more for you. The Junction Eagles travel to Center Point tonight to face the Pirates. The Eagles entered this game 4-1 on the year and in command of the series all-time at 9-4-1. The Pirates entered this game 3-3, and at last look, we saw 44-0 at halftime, and they would walk away with the big win to open up district play. Junction 65, Pirates nothing. Coming up next on Inside the Game, we continue our coverage of high school football across the Concho Valley. Everybody's favorite Class 1A is up next when we return. Don't go anywhere. This is Inside the Game. Welcome back into Inside the Game, where, of course, we take you inside the game here in the Concho Valley. Class 1A is up next, and our next matchup is actually a Concho Valley matchup. It saw the Erie and County Hornets traveling to Robert Lee to face the Steers. The Hornets enter 2-4 on the season. Robert Lee 4-2, fresh off of a big win last week, right into action. Out the gate, a double pass to Brennan Sherwood, setting up the deep shot score here. Robert Lee taking the early lead in this one. The Hornets looking to answer back. The outside pitch to Colton Laudermick, and he is going to outrun everybody here for this score. You see that beautiful October sky in the background. Robert Lee wasn't done, though. Another double pass, moves in the pocket, and sends a prayer shot to the back of the end zone for Wyatt Bosworth. Robert Lee again here, second quarter. Another double pass, scans the field, dumps it off to Jackson Tavares for the score and the lead going into halftime. 31-12, Robert Lee opens up districts with the win, 61-12. Our final Concho Valley matchup of the night saw the winless Paint Rock Indians travel to face the 5-1 Very Best Falcons. This matchup is in its 10th straight meeting, with the Falcons holding the overall record. You guys are in for a highlight treat here. Very Best with the kick return to open and the game, and right out of the gate, you don't have to wait for the action here. The kick taken all the way back by Hunter Tucker to put the Falcons up 6 early in this one. Very Best with the ball the next drive. A run to the left, and Bryce Martin takes this one to the house to extend the lead. 2 scores in the ensuing drive for the Falcons. And we, like I said, we have the highlight right here to show you. Hunter Tucker, first the kick return, and now he's going to hurdle a man. He's going to take this one all the way to the house. No one's going to catch him. This game gets put away very early for Very Best. They walk away with the 4-score lead at half, and the final score 57-0. Menard traveled to Leakey tonight to face the Yellow Jackets. Menard technically undefeated this season. The Eagles 4-2. Menard won this matchup last year and holds the overall record at 9-1. And Menard is going to walk away with the victory, 44-36. Blackwell tonight to travel to face Olfen, the Mustangs. One of the winless teams is walking away with a number in the other column on this one. Blackwell holds the overall record series at 2-0 as these two teams enter their third matchup all time against each other. And Blackwell's going to walk away with the commanding win tonight, 66-0. And for our final matchup in Class 1A, the Bront Longhorns travel to Lorain to face the Bulldogs. 1948 was the year that this series kicked off, and holding the overall record at 18-12 as these two teams met for a third consecutive year. Final score, and this one came down to the wire. Bront Longhorns 62, Lorain 61. When Inside the Game returns, we're going to take a look at this past week's Dr. Pepper trivia question, a look ahead at next week's district matchups. We're going to also look ahead at some Week 7 headlines. Don't go anywhere. This is Inside the Game. We'll be right back. Let's now take a look ahead to some Week 8 matchups and some notable district games. Central was at home for this one, and we have the Mojo coming into town for the overall series record at 15-37-1 all-time. Wall hosting Kahoma. Wall holds the overall series record in this matchup that hasn't happened since 2009. The number 9 Mason traveling to Harper to try and continue their win streak at 64 games, also 16-0 all-time versus Harper. And our final look ahead, a pair of Concho Valley teams face off. 97 total meetings total for the Sonora Broncos and the Ozona Lions all-time. And that's going to wrap up this week's Inside the Game, as you can check out all of our content at the Concho Valley homepage, including a recap of scores and highlights from Week 7. And you can always follow us on Twitter. You had Central go down. Lakeview walks away with the win. Wall busts out their first win of district play with Mason as well. And we will catch you guys next week. As always, it's never goodbye. It is just until next week. From KSAN's Inside the Game, thanks for hanging out. I'm Brian Cunningham. Good night, Concho Valley.
Catering for Inside the Game is provided by Chick-fil-A.
Inside the Game is sponsored by Mitchell Automotive Group.